Hello, Math 95 students. Um, I'm Heiko Spadek. I'm your instructor. We've met in writing a lot. You've seen my picture, but now you see me talk. I have gotten several inquiries about how to graph. So the first few questions in the graphing technology where you're supposed to make a window and explain, and it's not coming out quite right. And so I want to show you, walk you through an example. I'm just gonna, so I start right now, you see already, it's my, the graphing, so the graphing calculator in Desmos I'm about to start. And so I'm just gonna walk through with you as you will experience it often, like you come freshly in, and then what do you do? I apologize, I have a really hard time looking straight in the camera when I talk, but yes, I hope this video will be helpful. Okay, so let's get started. I'm gonna open the graphing calculator here, and I will need to click my video a little bit somewhere else. There we go. And I'm gonna type in the line that I want to graph. So I'm gonna, oh, it's not letting me. There we go, minus. So I want to write, so for instance, f of x, I can call that equals, and then I have negative 1901 x minus 1618, so 1618. And voila, something like that you are likely to see. And so you see a line, that's nice. Sometimes even that line is out of the thing, but it's a very straight up and down line. And there's a little bit more to that line as we'll see. Now, one general idea that I find always very helpful is plugging in 0 for x, first of all. If we plug in 0 for x, then that first term goes away, and our y, our corresponding y, will be negative 1618. And clearly that's not on our y-axis. Our y-axis goes from 0 to 6 and a little bit above that, so maybe 7. And so in order, so what that work means when it says, it wants to say see all the relevant points, it wants to see that y-intercept, so where that line hits the y-axis. And it also wants to see the x-intercept, which we are here actually quite lucky we see already, but even that is a little bit close, so we can still straighten that out a little bit and make it a little bit gonna look like a line at an angle, because essentially that's what it is. It's not a straight up and down line. And so when I hover over that line, over that point, or even click on it, then it will tell me what that point is. So immediately I know how I have to scale my x-axis. So my x-axis might be much nicer if I scale it between -2 and 2, for instance. That might, so that we will do in a second. And then for our y, we will definitely need negative 1618 on there. And there will be there's always a little bit of trial and error. A little bit is also beauty lies in the eye of the beholder. But that work, once you get the idea, it casts the net pretty wide. So as long as you have these 2 points visible, clearly visible, and I show you what they mean with that, then it will accept your answer. So the most important button you need for, oops, I did not want to do that. I accidentally moved this one. So let's go back where we were. I'm going to click on here. And we had that point. The button that we want is the wrench. So this is where you can scale. Now, if you have like some kind of notepad or on your phone, you can actually use your fingers to zoom. If I just use these buttons, what will happen if I zoom out? It makes the x-axis even wider, and that's not what we want, right? We want to zoom in on the x-axis, but zoom out on the y-axis. And so these buttons will not do that. Now, if you have a writing, so like a notepad, you can try, on mine, what works is if you move your fingers across just on the x-axis to spread them together or apart, you can zoom in just the x-axis, and then you can do the same with the y. So you can scan them independently. I have not found that using that on the laptop where I'm recording this video right now. So I'm going to use the wrench, and I'm going to put in what I just talked about. So here is my x-axis from 2. So I talked about, oh, I should scale that from maybe -2 to +2. So I'm going to do that. Oh, look, that looks quite nice there. And then here, I'm going to put that to 2. And so now I'm a little bit more zoomed in on that one. And then on the y-axis, we had said that we definitely want there from -1618. Ooh, look at that. And so, okay, now I see a nice line. So you would think, oh, I'm just going to put this in for my scale, and WebWorks should be happy. So you would put in for the first window, right, negative. So, and it takes, I tried it out, it takes either a parentheses or brackets. But so you could say, oh, I'm going to take -2, 2, and it'll probably actually accept that part, but it's not going to accept that. Why? Well, we see here on our y-axis that point. So we see our y-intercept, but barely. So WebWorks does not like barely. So it will actually not like that you can barely see this point. And now also, because the scale is so huge suddenly, that our point, which was before really well visible, suddenly is no longer visible, or barely also, right? So let's see if we can take these 2 points, yeah, those 2, and make them even a little bit more visible. What I need to do for that, oops, sorry, I clicked on something more. First of all, I want to go further below -1618. So I'm just going to think big, and I'm going to just go -2000. Oh, look, now that point is really nicely visible. And then instead of going only until 4, I'm just going to say, well, let's do 500 or something like that, right? So now look at our 2 points. Now I can click on this one, I can click on this one, and they're really well visible. So I would put, I'm just gonna write that in here then. So I'm just gonna, so I'm here, of course, it's not gonna tell me right or wrong, but if I was in WebWorks, I could then write, again, either brackets or parentheses. I would write my window as -2, 2. And then my other window, I would write, we had -2000, another 0, to 500. Ta-da. And that should definitely do the trick. Now, when you have a parabola, right, something like this, what you will need to also then have visible is either your maximum point or minimum point. Depends whether you have a parabola that goes upside down or right side up. And so again, you have both your x-intercept, your y-intercept, and that maximum point or minimum point as well. So I hope this will help. If you would like me to also walk through one with a parabola, send me an email, and I'll send you an email that I've made this video and where to find that. Yeah, So let me stop the recording. No.